From the Blues Hotel Collective, welcome to Blues Moments in Time, where every groove holds a memory and every moment echoes the truth of what came before. Today, we rewind the reel, trace the footsteps, and revisit the chapters that shaped the blues. Here is our host, Kelvin Huggins.
Welcome to Blues Moments in Time. We're dedicated to exploring the rich history and cultural significance of blues music. Today, we're diving into the events that shaped the blues on January 5th. Let's start with the cultural landscape. Now, you can't talk about the blues without talking about the world it was born into. For much of the 20th century, that world was defined by two major forces: the Great Migration and the harsh reality of Jim Crow segregation. Millions of African Americans moved from the rural South to cities like Chicago, St. Louis and Detroit, and they brought their music with them. That migration transformed the acoustic country blues into the electric, gritty sound of the city. But even in the North, segregation was a fact of life. Black performers were often shut out of white-owned venues, which gave rise to the legendary Chitlin Circuit. This was a network of black-owned clubs and theatres that became the backbone of the industry, a place where artists could perform for their own communities and hone their craft. It was on this circuit that many blues and R&B legends, including some we'll talk about today, got their start. Now, let's turn our attention to the political climate. The blues has always been more than just music. It's been a form of testimony, born in the shadow of slavery and the violence of the Jim Crow South. It was a way to sing about hardship, injustice, and the struggle to survive. As the civil rights movement gained momentum in the 50s and 60s, the music became an anthem. It was the soundtrack to marches, sit-ins, and freedom rides. Artists used their platform to speak truth to power. One of the most powerful voices in this regard was the great Charles Mingus, a jazz genius who passed away on January 5th in 1979. His compositions were complex, beautiful, and often seething with righteous anger against racial injustice. He wasn't just a musician, he was an activist who wielded his bass and his pen like weapons in the fight for equality. Of course, no discussion of blues history would be complete without exploring the music itself. On January 5, 1973, a young man from New Jersey named Bruce Springsteen released his debut album, Greetings from Asbury Park, New Jersey. It was filled with stories and characters that felt deeply American, channeling the spirit of folk and blues. And on the same date in 1979, an artist known simply as Prince played his very first public show in Minneapolis. He would go on to become a global icon, but that night he was just a 20-year-old kid with a guitar, a band and a sound that blended funk and rock on a foundation built by the blues. These moments show just how far the tendrils of the blues have reached, shaping nearly every corner of modern music. January 5 has also marked the beginnings of life for some incredible blues musicians. On this day in 1893, Elizabeth Cotten was born in North Carolina. She was a true folk genius. Left-handed, she taught herself to play her brother's right-handed guitar by turning it upside down. This led her to create a completely unique finger-picking style that musicians still study today. She wrote her most famous song, The Timeless Freight Train, as a young girl, but the world wouldn't hear it for another 50 years, when she was rediscovered while working as a housekeeper for the famous Seeger family. A remarkable story of talent that simply would not be denied. This was also the birthday of New Orleans singer Johnny Adams, the Tan Canary. born in 1932. His soaring multi-octave voice was a force of nature, and his hits like Release Me are masterclasses in soulful blues balladry. And we celebrate Wilbert Harrison, born in 1929, the man who gave us the definitive version of Kansas City, a song that became a rock and roll and R&B standard. Sadly, January 5th has also been a day of loss. On this day in 1979, the world lost a towering figure of Charles Mingus. He was a composer, a band leader, and arguably one of the greatest bass players in history. His music was a turbulent, beautiful storm of blues, gospel, and avant-garde jazz. He was uncompromising in his art and his politics, and his death from ALS at the age of 56 left a void that can never be filled. His final project was a collaboration with Joni Mitchell, a fitting end for an artist who constantly sought new horizons. And we also remember Sam Bluesman Taylor, who passed in 2009, and Eric Haycock, the original bassist for the Hollies, who died in 2019. They too carried the torch of the blues in their own way, reminding us that this music is a living, breathing tradition passed down through generations. Thanks for joining me on another journey with Blues Moments in Time. Until next time, keep the blues alive.